and he's facing me, and I'm scoping him, watching him. And I had done the thing we talk about. I knew he was a good buck. I would not look at his antlers.
Yeah.
So to be totally honest, I didn't know if it was the 10 or the 11.
Yeah, I know that for a fact because I didn't know until you actually found it.
Yes. Yeah. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back to the Hunt Experience Podcast.
We are back, and it's number 30.
30. Hey,
Yeah.
we're climbing.
That's a milestone of some kind.
Yeah. Before we know it, we'll be at 100. If we hadn't taken a year off, we'd probably be there right now.
I know, if we hadn't taken a nap, but it is what it is. Well, hey, man, there's some deer hitting the ground.
Deer season news.
Yeah. Finally something to talk about a little bit. It's kind of a little slow, but
man, I tell you, before we get to the deer hitting the ground, my place has been strangely slow.
Yeah.
Like, what's happening slow?
Mm-hmm.
I did find this out, though. I hung a camera on the very south side of my place. Horseback riders, like, daily.
That's definitely got to impact it.
Yeah. So I think a horse walking around probably wouldn't, but a horse with, like, two teenage girls laughing and
Screaming and high-fiving.
and cutting me off from the mountain may be an issue.
So that's happening regular?
Yeah. I didn't have a camera running back there until about 3 weeks ago, and it's almost daily.
No bueno, brother.
But let's see, what was it? Last Thursday night?
Yeah, the big buck you sent me?
Yeah. So I was...
nice deer.
Let's see. Shooting live ended at 43. So at 45, I was on my probably third rung, fixing to get down.
Oh, yeah.
And a doe races like right underneath me, flies by. It's like, okay, something's fixing to go down. At least got to watch this, right? Guns unloaded after shooting light, so nothing I can really do. And then a forked horn comes through there grunting. It's like, oh, there he is, Then from my left, another deer's grunting, definitely deeper. And it's that big 8. He walks, I mean, I could touch him pretty much.
Really?
He's sitting there just panting. And I pull my little e-bike in that little net and kind of lay it over. And he steps over the e-bike. And I'm just looking straight at him. He's outside of his ears. And he grunts like 2 more times and takes off crashing, heading north. So I take the e-bike out and I just ride straight through the food plot heading south like I'm getting out of here. And just flew out of there. But yeah, I was probably 5 feet from him. He's a 40 something.
Really?
42, 45, something like that.
Really nice deer, huh?
But I got 2 more pictures of him after that. That night I didn't get any pictures of him, but then I seen a pretty decent buck. Did I send you that video? That buck walking right underneath me?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
He probably could be a pretty decent deer, but he was missing like all of his horns. So
busted up.
Yeah, there was nothing left of him. But he looked 4.5. I'm like, man, I wonder what that was. But
yeah,
haven't seen him since.
Just cruising through, huh?
He popped out on that corridor, walked a little bit to the south, and then came through the cut through and the plot screen, walked right past me just like I designed it, ate a little bit, and then hit the other corridor.
And you hadn't seen him since?
Never seen him again.
Huh. Interesting. So you've seen some rut action. That's the only rut action you've seen, I guess, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like I said,
you could have rode him too. Sounded like.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I could have hopped on his back. I started to slap him or something.
Hey, what are you doing?
But I don't know, man. At this point, I really don't know. It's like, what's the saying? A student is only as good as his teacher. Yeah. And I taught myself, so there's that.
There's that.
Yeah. I'm having zero luck. But you know what? I told the wife that today, frustrated with the whole setup, it's like, man, all this work and all this stuff. I was like, I need snow. Every deer I kill is like snowbound.
Massive cold front, dude, for you.
I know.
If there's a chance you could die in it, that's when you kill a deer.
Yeah, that's when I'll kill a deer, exactly. And I think that'll get the horseback riders will leave.
Yeah, nobody wants to be on a horse, right?
And, plus everything's going to be, the other deal is we still got green everywhere here. Acorns, I feel like, are probably going away some after all that rain we had. But
hey, these frosts will stop that, though.
Yeah. and the food plots are banging. So I
Yep.
mean, eventually something's got to move in my area. I'm hoping.
Well, you're late. You know, we've known that last 2 years you've been late.
Well, I had a little bit of early season hope when I had the drop time that
Right.
would be a big 8. And I was like, you know, the drop time buck, he's not a giant, but he did the same thing last year. He was, you know, not very big. He was like, that's cool, man. Double drop time buck, disappeared for 6-8 weeks. Boom, pops back late season every day.
Mm-hmm.
So if he comes back again at this point,
give you something to chase.
I'll probably kill him.
Mm-hmm.
He's only 3.5, but I gotta get something.
Got to get something on the ground.
Yeah.
Got to get something going.
So
Well,
that's my story.
Wait, you see, now you sent me a picture of a big deer too. Didn't win into 10 or something?
Yeah, that was a one-time deal.
One
dude,
picture, huh?
at like 10:30
That's
in
a
the
good
morning
deer.
on the low plot.
Really?
Yeah,
That was a good deer.
I don't have corn out there. He was just cruising through, stopped, and you know I got a picture of him with his head down, and that was it. I hadn't seen him since.
He was mature.
I mean, I've been hunting, but you know, like I say, I'm hunting a ghost. I mean, if one of those deer happened to pop out,
You're there waiting.
I don't know what's best at this point, just to stay out of it till I get a picture or something, or just keep hoping something pops out. I don't know, which I'm hunting pretty safe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your setups especially with the cold front winds, you would be pretty solid.
Yeah.
Especially on that first stand we built in there.
Yeah.
That's pretty legit setup.
So there's my story. Let's get into your story. So you text me yesterday, and I was a little bit out of pocket. Didn't really get my text come to my watch, and my watch was dead, so I didn't actually check my phone until later.
Mm-hmm.
And then
you caught me in the freak out. I was in the freak.
You were panicking, and I was panicking.
I was in freak out mode.
I was thinking. You're like, dude, that reminds me just of this buck right here did that to me, and the big boy. You know, you brought your big light over that night. It was
same deal.
Snow on the ground. It was like just little bitty spray stuff. I was like, dude, I think it got lung. You know. And when you called, I was like, have you checked? Or he said, where did you find it? And I was like, by the pond. He's like, no. Because I was thinking water, spray, all these things. So
yeah,
I'm gonna let you tell the story because it's one heck of a story.
Yeah. So it was 11.
Yeah.
So got some history with the deer. That's the deer that come out on me and Lex. And I got the video a little bit.
Yeah.
She was hyperventilating and breathing hard, and so here's kind of I'll give you the synopsis of it in a short story. But so my routine has been here when I'm hunting here, I set the alarm for early.
Yeah.
If I don't have to take a dog out, usually I have to take a dog out. But if I take a dog out, it's like 3:00 in the morning usually.
Yeah.
And I'll check cameras and
Oh, gotcha.
see what's going on.
Yeah.
And then my alarm goes off at 5:30, and I check cameras again, and that's kind of been my routine.
Sure.
You know, like we've talked about, I've had the 10 here and I've had the 11 here that are shooter bucks.
Yeah.
One's 4, one's 5. Past deer. You know, we got all the history with them, all that stuff. So that morning, that's yesterday morning, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday morning.
Yesterday.
Yeah. I'm all kind of run together, but I haven't slept in. I was telling my wife I haven't slept in and I can't remember when. But anyway, got up, checked the camera. Okay. Nothing. Like 5:30. I mean, not nothing, just normal deer, small bucks and whatever.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Well, I said, all right, I'm getting dressed. Got the cold front here. We know how cold fronts are.
Yeah.
It's just, if it's going to happen, man, it seems like a cold front.
Especially when you had him coming
when he's regular.
Close.
Yeah, when he's right there.
Yeah.
So I'm getting dressed and everything, and I grab the phone and I look again. Well, the 10 is at the front stand on the camera.
Right.
And it's almost 6:00. I'm like, great. Now what? Because my gun is in the stand.
Can't even sneak up on him.
I can't, my camera equipment is in that stand.
Yeah.
You know, I just got my camera here, but my tripod and everything's out there.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll go to the back stand because there's no way I can get in the front stand without bumping him. There's no way.
For sure.
And I wasn't about to try it. And it's still dark. I mean, you don't see good till 6:30ish, 6:20, something like that.
Yeah.
So I grabbed the muzzle loader because, like I said, rifle's in the front stand.
Yeah.
And go to the back stand, which the back stand is, I got a 1 acre food plot there. We did 2-3 years ago.
It's be
It's the year 3. Isn't
Year
it?
3?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, season 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I was thinking 2 at first.
Yeah, I know it flies by, dude. So I hit the stand. I get in there. I got in really good. I had went in last week during that massive heavy winds we had.
Yeah.
And I took a garden rake and I raked out all the way
Did you?
in. Yes.
So you use the trail that runs along the fence back?
Yes.
Yeah.
The one I cut.
So I walked
last
that
year.
one with you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, and there was briars and,
Yeah.
So I cleaned that trail all out because I thought back spot, I've had pictures back there. If the conditions are right, I'm going in, but I will not go in the back spot because it's harder to get in.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Longer trek.
Well,
sure.
I haven't built my pond yet. And I don't have that bulletproof access like we love.
Yeah.
And I do in the front,
Yeah.
So anyway, I got to the back, got in clean, pretty quiet. Well, when I got up there, I checked my camera. Well, in the 5 minutes it took me to walk in there was 4 does in there. And
they were in when you got in?
No, they have been,
Shortly.
in the time that I was trekking back there, they were in front of the camera. So I was like, I don't think I bumped them, because there was nothing, I didn't spook anything that I knew of.
Gotcha.
Anyway, got in the setup, about a little after 6. And so I'm just hanging out there, dude. And then next thing I know, I look to the bottom. So that would be the southeast corner of the food plot. And I see a deer, and it's about, I think it's about 6:22, something like that. And this deer comes walking across the food plot and he's coming angling straight to me. And I'm like, what deer is this? And I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe that 10 has circled around to this bottom food plot.
Yeah.
And this is him, Well, immediately I can tell it's a good buck, And so it's kind of funny. I lift up the muzzleloader. Well, the muzzleloader had not been touched since last year.
Yeah.
That was on the new spot we had where I
the
took
buck you
the
killed
deer
last year.
way out there.
Yeah.
So I lifted
100 and what?
160.
160?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
160 with the muzzleloader. So I pick up the scope to look at the deer and I can't see anything. And I was like, what the heck, Well, I pick it up again. Well, it's fogged completely over.
Oh, yeah.
Front and back because, I'd been in the house, took it outside of scope.
Yeah.
Cleaned off the scope. Well, this whole time the deer is coming to me. Coming straight to me. At this point, dude, he's about 20 yards.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of looking down at the deer. Well, dude, he comes up there and he stops. And so I'm still messing with the scope because I can't see through it. Well, I pick it up again the third time to look at the deer. And it's like I can't find him the scope's zoomed all the way out.
You cranked all the way in for the
out,
sniper
in,
shot.
Yeah. So pull the scope back out and then I pull up and look and I'm like, oh, okay, it's a good buck. This is a shooter deer.
Yeah.
Well, then I look at my phone, put the gun down, look at my phone, and I am about 4 minutes from legal.
Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. Isn't that the worst?
And he's just standing there. He's standing there, dude, at like 20 yards. Okay. And he's staring straight forward, like underneath my stand. And he's just standing there. And I'm just like, what is this deer doing, Well, then he kind of backs up a little bit and he does just a 180. And he 180s. And so I look at him again through the scope and he's just staring right back where he came from, just standing there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, like you said, TikTok, come on now. What, And so I look again at the thing and it's like, okay, it's like 3 minutes until legal. I'm thinking, golly. And then he starts walking back the way he came. And I'm just like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. And he's taking his time.
Yeah.
He's in no hurry. He stops at the persimmon tree and he, throws his head around, the limb hanging down there.
Yeah.
And then he just keeps walking and he goes to the very back corner of the plot. Okay. And I look and it's like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Gosh, dang it. This dude's going to leave and I'm not going to get to shoot this deer. And I'm like, I cannot believe this, and he does the same thing over there, dude. He just stands there.
Yeah.
And he's not spinning his head or nothing. He's just like looking straight ahead.
Yeah. So
I'm like, what is this? This deer's a zombie. And what's wrong with him?
He's got that CWD.
Yeah. He's lost his mind. I've never seen a deer just like, he was in almost like slow motion. You know, it was like,
Well, I told you that that big one that I shot high, been, God, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago now, but I got video of it. He did that to me. He walked in that little bitty quarter acre food plot and stood behind a cedar tree where I had no shot at for probably 25 minutes, like motionless, just staring.
yeah,
It's like, what is this?
yeah.
What's he doing?
Is he real? Am I second guessing it?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of the same deal because he got all the way across there. Well, the persimmon tree's in the way and some of the stuff up close to me is in the way. I don't have a shot, but I can see him.
Okay.
And so, you know, I can see him through the scope. And like I said, all right, I got 2 minutes. I got 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, he's fixing to jump the fence and be gone.
Yeah, if he jumps in over the fence, that's nothing but thickness.
Oh, yeah. No, I'll totally lose him because it's all grown up. You know what it is.
Yeah.
It's 5, 6 feet deep and he gone.
Right.
You know? So I've given up. I put my gun down. I'm like, dang, I cannot believe I had this encounter with this deer.
Why do I have to be such an ethical hunter?
I know. It's like, if I just break the law here.
Yeah.
So I had pretty much like saying, okay, there was my chance to see this deer.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it was cool. And I was like, yeah. And dude, I kid you not, now keep in mind, he's been standing there all the way across for probably a couple minutes at this point. Well, next thing I know, he 180s again and comes back the same direct trail. There's not a trail.
What do I got to do to get this guy to shoot me?
Yeah, it's like, geez, come on.
Walking back and forth.
Here I am. Dude, he comes walking. Well, this time it's legal.
Yeah.
You know, and he's facing me and I'm scoping him, watching him. And I had done the thing we talk about. I knew he was a good buck. I would not look at his antlers.
Yeah.
So to be totally honest, I didn't know if it was the 10 or the 11.
Yeah, I know that for a fact because I didn't know until you actually found it.
Yes, yeah, and see, to be honest, I refuse to look at his rack because you know
I'm the same way. Once I decide he's a shooter, I'm not looking.
Yeah, no, it doesn't help me. I'm already boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
You know, I'm feeling it, and dude, he just keeps coming straight to me. You know, well, he gets about 25 yards, turns broadside.
Yeah,
and you know. And I pull down on him with the old muzzle loader.
Yeah. Why not?
Sighted at 100.
Yeah.
And he's 22 yards. Good. Boom. Well, you know what I seen?
Yeah.
Smoke and flames.
Yeah.
and you know, as soon as I shoot, and then I catch a glimpse of him, and he kind of angled back above the pile in the center there. Yeah. He kind of angled back and crossed going towards the pond.
Yeah.
And I seen him go over the fence, and I lost him in the thick stuff.
Sure.
Like immediately.
Yeah.
So I'm like, holy cow, I can't believe that happened. That deer like come back twice.
Yeah.
I wasn't calling. It was totally silent.
How long do you think you stood in that plot total?
Dude, he was there at least 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Just chilling, you know, and it's like.
So I'm thinking.
There had to be a doe.
That's what I'm thinking. There must have been those does that were there. He's like, maybe he can see one through the wood. I mean.
Something, dude. But it was like. It wasn't like a frantic anything.
Yeah.
He was just chill.
I guess he was just thinking about what he wanted to do today.
Well, what it made me think about is I bet he's been there a bunch.
Sure.
He was like majorly comfortable.
Yeah, obviously.
You could tell.
To stand in the open.
And the funny part about that is I don't have many pictures of him back there.
Yeah.
But he sure acted like he owned the place.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's like, hey, this is my place. I'm checking. And he just moseyed through there.
Which is kind of strange because you got another big deer here too, which is, you know, not. I'm not saying it's not common, but I mean, normally one will kind of like outdo the other.
Exactly. And see, that was the other thing about this buck, and we'll get into it when I found him. But so anyway, made the shot, watched him, went to where he went. So I sat in the stand a while just thinking, holy cow, what just happened? Well, then I realized I have no other shots because it was a muzzleloader. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go back to the house and get another shot.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, I don't have any shots left.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm out of power.
Did you grab a slingshot or something?
So I'm like, okay. Well, I went to the safe, got 30-30.
Okay.
Broke out the old man.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that was the deer killer back in the day.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go back out. So my wife hadn't even left for work yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I've shot a big one, and I'm fixing to go get him. She's like, oh my gosh, that's so good. You know, so anyway, I said, I'm going to go get him. And I said, hopefully before you leave, I'll be back.
Yeah.
Well, here ensues the panic because I go straight to where he crosses the fence. Okay. I don't go where I shot him. I go straight to where I seen him cross. And I go to the fence and I'm like, I'm not seeing any blood. Kind of weird, you know, kind of bizarre. I mean, he was so close that my crosshairs
Mhm.
did not show anything but deer.
Yeah.
There, you know, it was,
I tell you that all the time with my rifle shots. Like, well, pretty much every deer I've ever killed with a gun, I could have killed with my bow.
yeah.
25
Oh,
yards.
this would have been fantastic
Yeah.
for a bow.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. But anyway, so across the fence and boom, I find what I would call a large glob of matter that looks like lung to me.
Yeah.
It looked like lung. It didn't look like flesh, or it didn't look like meat.
Right.
You know, it had a different
little light pinkish color.
Yeah, it had a different feel to it.
Yeah.
I actually picked it up, and then there was some blood.
Taste it.
No, I didn't taste it. I didn't smell it either.
Yeah.
Daggett boys smell their stuff.
Yeah.
I ain't smelling it.
It's too early.
No, I ain't doing it. So I go a little bit further, and there's hardly no blood, dude.
Yeah.
I go a little bit further, and you know, there's, like I said, that's overgrown in there, and like 2.5 feet up on the side of stuff, there's specks of blood, like just little specks of blood, kind of like splattered into the. I'm like, what in the world? I said, okay.
Yeah, when you told me that, I thought dead deer, because I mean that's that big and dead me, and it was like just that little mist blowing out. Like, okay,
and you know, I'm not getting like drops on the ground or nothing, and I'm like, what is going on here? Of course, you know how I do it every time I do this, but it's like I've got jobs I gotta go do.
Yeah.
I hunt before my jobs,
Gotta leave,
and so I was like, all right, I've made a bad shot. You know, I mean, he's not bleeding.
Yeah.
I will say, with the muzzleloader last year, it was the same thing. Sucker did not bleed.
Almost the exact same story.
Oh my gosh. I was like, why? Well, I've missed him. And my brother's like, you didn't miss him.
At that yardage, you could kind of understand a little bit.
Yeah. I didn't get a pass through.
But 22 is a little different.
Yeah, 22 yards. Yeah, exactly. So
you probably burn him a little bit.
Yeah. Well, okay. So this makes things worse. So I'm texting Jody. I texted you, but you know, like I said, you were out of pocket or whatever. I was texting Jody. I was like, dude, I don't know. I don't know. I'm worried now bad.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, well, go back to where you shot him. Yeah. And so I was like, oh yeah, good idea. So I went back to where he was standing. I seen the bullet impact into the ground. Just big old tilled up spot where the bullet hit. And then hair and hair. No blood.
Yeah.
None. And the hair's white. And I'm like, oh.
When you told me that, I was like, that could be a problem.
Man, the hair's white. That means I've shot this thing in the gut or down low somewhere. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So at that point, I'm crushed. I've already decided I'm the worst hunter in the world. You know, I'd already shot that buck early season, didn't find it. And I'm thinking, I'm Chris is going to buy my stuff and I'm getting out.
Yeah.
I'm just going to film.
You're in the middle of a breakdown when I called you. Like, I'm done hunting.
I can't believe this crap, dude. How can this deer be, I don't know. How could I have missed this deer? I made a bad shot. So anyway, I back out of there and it's like, I have a job long distance like I always do.
Yeah.
I think I was gone for 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
So I come back after the job and I go straight back in there to where the blood was.
Yeah.
I'd already seen the discouraging hair, you know, and so I went to where the blood was and got back on the blood again. It was light. Sun was shining at this point. And dude, I found 0 more blood. I mean, what I'd found is all there was. And I was like, okay, now what? Do I get a dog? So I start making some just blind semicircles. Right. You know how you do?
Yeah.
Up ahead. Okay, this is the direction he was headed. Start tracking, you know, and nothing. And I mean, nothing. And I'm like, what? Oh my gosh, this is terrible. I cannot believe this. How can this be? You know, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to go up here to the pond and just take a peek. You know, I mean, and it's never happened to me and all the deer I killed all these years.
Yeah.
I've never had a deer actually go to water, but guys will say, hey man, deer's hurt. He's going to water.
Yeah. I've heard
for
that.
Whatever reason, you know. And so I go up there and go to the pond and I'm looking around and there's something floating in it. And I'm like, oh no, surely not. And it's on the other side of the pond. And sure enough, dude, I go around there and there's a deer floating in the pond. And I'm texting Jody. I'm like, dude, there's deer in the pond. He said, that's him. That's him.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And I was like, I don't know if it's him or not because all I can see is the back hip.
Yeah.
And, you know, because the head sunk.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, it's like 15 feet out in the middle of the pond.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, man, well, go back and get you a fishing pole and reel and put you
what pound test you got
snag hook on that
pound
bad boy.
Test you got on that thing.
And I'm standing there texting him and he's like, yeah, go get you a reel, you know? And I was like, I see bubbles.
Yeah.
And it looks like the dude's sinking.
Yeah.
Dude, it looks like he's sinking. I was like, Joe, he's sinking, dude. I said, I'm going in.
Yeah.
He's like, what? I said, I'm going in.
I would have done the same thing. Like, I'm going in.
I went over to the side there and found a big old long tree.
Yeah.
And I got in to about my waist. It was cold, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
It's quite cold. And I hooked him.
Yeah.
And so I pull him over to the side there, and I can see antlers at this point. Oh, this is him, you know?
Yeah.
And dude, I grabbed him. And when I grabbed him, I'm thinking, wait a second. This is not the 10. This is the 11.
Yeah. Well, you text me, found him, and then like it was what I think. What did I call you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I called you.
Me,
Yeah.
And then I got a text later, and while we were on the phone, looked at no, it's the 11.
It's the 11.
What,
bro? It was not the 10 because the 10 was at the front spot.
Yeah.
And he was there, and I was thinking, okay, well, he circled around, come to the back plot.
Yeah, which that's when we
again,
were talking, like that was pretty cool because now you know your corridor's working because you know how to come through that corridor.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I assumed happened.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I said, once I seen the buck was big, I did not look at the antlers again.
Yeah, no.
You know, just to keep me from that helps me cope with the situation.
I think you have to if you're sitting there staring at those things all day long.
So, dude, I hit him double lung.
Yeah.
I mean, smoked him.
Yeah.
And he did not bleed. Year two,
you know,
second year in a row.
We talked about that, you know. This deer behind me did that to me.
Mm-hmm.
I told you about that doe I shot like, you know, New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And, gosh, he went probably 50 something yards with a bow. And there's some, you know, very, very, very little blood. They don't go real far because they can't breathe, but.
Yeah. Well, see, so that's the problem, dude, right there. It's like, I had really second guessed everything, like every hunter does.
Yeah.
When you don't have a blood trail.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have white hair. Well, I immediately went to where I shot him and looked at the holes.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's gray hair on top, but it's white hair underneath.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, gosh, all right, you got to be, I mean, this deer had no chance to survive.
Sure. Yeah.
And, you know, here I am thinking that I'm like, the whole deer was in my scope. How could I have not killed this deer?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'd hit something.
Oh my gosh, dude. And, you know, why did I not have blood on impact? You know, where he's standing when I shot. I mean, just so many questions.
Yeah. You think there'd be a little bit, you know.
Yeah, dude, it was just.
But remember my big deer, I called you panicking the same way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I felt like it was center mass, but I just don't know. There's not a lot of blood. And it's like, I could see where the arrow hit the snow.
Yep.
Like that shoot underneath it. And you brought your big light out. I was like, dude, there's spray on
spray
both
blood.
Sides coming. You know, like he went, you know.
Well, come to find out, that's exactly what this deer was doing.
Yeah.
When he hopped the fence there, and where I had the best blood, he was breathing.
Yeah.
He was spraying, you know,
on both sides. Yeah.
And it just, you know, I went from, you know how deer hunting is. You go the highest of highs and then the lowest of lows.
I don't think I've ever killed one successfully and not panic after I killed one.
You got to see it go down. That's about the only way.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
And the one time I saw mine go down, I was like, all right, I'm just going to ease out of here and go to the house and eat supper. I came back and it was gone.
He got back out.
Yeah.
And left.
Like it was a done deal.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So real fortunate.
Dude, what if that deer would have sunk all the way to the bottom of that pond?
Dude, I'd never found him.
I know.
It would have been a done deal. And
50
I'm
years
telling you
now when somebody drains that pond to make it deeper, someone's like, oh, there's some antlers in here.
big old buck in the bottom of that.
I know.
You know, and I just wonder, you know, it makes me think Lexi had some deer when she was young that we didn't find.
Yeah.
You know, did they go to the pond
You
and
wonder,
just drowned out,
You got to
sink?
find some way to drag that dude. See what's in there.
Well, it's pretty nasty walking on the bottom.
Oh, I guarantee you.
I hadn't been in there. And it was gross,
Yeah.
man.
I used to swim in a lot of ponds when I was a kid. And they were all,
Me too.
Didn't really care back then, but
Yeah,
now I'd probably be like, what's this? Snapping turtle?
So anyway, he was the 11. He was the deer we had the history with.
Yeah.
And he had broke off his, what would that be? His left eye guard.
I saw that.
Completely.
Yeah.
And the thing that was special about him is he had really big, long eye guards.
Yeah.
Well, the other one's 7 inches.
Yeah, that's what I think. I bet that was 7, 8 inches.
7 inches. So,
because I didn't catch it until you actually sent me the picture of you behind it. It's like, what happened to his eye guard? I don't remember.
Yeah, no, he broke it.
Yeah.
And then he had one of the splits on that same side was broke off probably 2 or 3 inches.
Yeah.
He broke that off too. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you jerk. What do you think? So anyway, put a tape on him. He's right at 140.
Yeah.
with everything broke. So I figured that deer, like we talked about, I thought he was close to 150.
Yeah. So he's probably sitting at 149.
147, 6,
Yeah,
8, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
You know, you don't really know for sure, but super pumped, man. I mean, that's an at-home deer.
Yeah.
That's a deer that we know we passed.
Yeah. That's the cool side.
That's the cool side.
Yeah.
Lexi had the encounter with him. I did not have him at all last year. At all, which is cool.
Really? So he skipped an entire.
He skipped an entire season. No early, no late, nothing.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, so I went back to 22 and I told you I found that footage of him.
Oh, yeah.
And he had showed up I'd say he showed up. I don't know if that's when he showed up, but I had video footage of him.
Right.
He could have been there earlier, but
yeah.
11/14 is when he showed up, and I told you it was snowing.
Yeah.
And I had all that good footage of him. Well, I think he stayed that winter, if I remember right, because I had a bunch of stuff. But then the following year, dude, he's gone. When he was 4, he was MIA.
Yeah.
And then, hey, there's this cool place where I used to eat at, and that's where he came back to.
Isn't that crazy?
It is. And that's, you know, like we always talk about, you don't ever know the power of passing a deer.
Yeah.
Yes, you're going to take a chance of somebody killing it, and,
Sure.
and it happens a lot around here for sure. And that's the battle you have to fight. You know, you take a chance of it get killed.
No question.
And even when they're a good deer at 3, you know, most guys would take that deer. It's pretty tough because you know he could get shot at any time.
Yeah.
During the gun season for sure. Now there's not a big push in my area with bow, but during gun, there's lots of guns cracking off.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
So to wrap that up, you know, and kill that deer here, that's the first deer out of the new stand. That's the first deer on the new plot.
Well, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So pretty special. He acted really strange. I don't have he was ruddy kinda, I would assume, but you know, that was the first that's the first good cold front we'd had in a week.
Yeah.
A week or so.
Sure, yeah.
So I figure that got him fired up a little bit.
This is the weirdest deer season ever, I think.
So bizarre. So
yeah.
So I was pumped.
Yeah.
You know,
I was pumped too.
I called you know, I called you, I called my brother, I called my dad, you know.
Yeah.
I did the thing.
Sure.
You know. And all of you guys that know me knew I was chasing this buck.
Yeah.
And you know, to pull it off.
Yeah. No, that's always that's all you really want to have a deer season.
Yeah,
that's me.
for sure.
The guys at work all the time say, if I kill a buck, I'm not gonna not stop hunting, but I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I mean, normally it's the biggest deer on the property, or it's 3.5, 4.5, 120 or 180.
Yeah. It's coming.
I want the biggest deer, and on the property, you know, it's relative to season by season.
And him and the 10 are probably pretty close in size.
Yeah, I think so. I think that 10's definitely wider.
The 10's definitely wider and probably taller.
Yeah.
I will say that about the 10.
Yeah, G2s are probably got some.
Yeah, 2s and 3s are long.
You got one of the girls lined up chasing that one?
Yeah. I've talked to, the wife.
He's still here pretty regular.
Yeah. See, he was out that morning too. And so that means they were both here.
Sure.
But I had called you or texted you and I told you, what was it, 2 nights before? They came in together.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And it was the 19th. Yeah, it was November 19th. And I have pictures of them dudes standing right beside each other.
Yeah.
Eating.
The 19th. That's funny because
weird.
I've been kind of down, but I got something. I don't know what it was, the flu or something. But I was going through and cataloging while I was sitting in the chair, cataloging all my pictures and all that stuff, and going back and see what I had last year at this time or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I came across some kill pictures where I think it was this deer. Killed this deer on the 19th. Luke killed his first buck on the 19th. I was feeling like garbage. I'm like, I'm going out.
Crawl out there.
I'm going out because, you know, you never know. And I had that busted up 4.5-year-old come through there and was like, something about the 19th man around here. I don't know what the deal is, but I mean, I don't know what that deer would have looked like if he had all of his horns. He was a pretty decent buck.
He was a scrapper.
Yeah.
Scrapping. Well, that's funny you say the 19th. So, you know, the last time we talked, I'd said, man, November 20s here are always good at here.
Yeah.
So if I have bucks early, I usually lose them during the rut for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I do have does, but I still lose the bucks.
Yeah.
But then they usually come back in that time frame, you know, in the 20s.
You will. And probably a little bit older age class. You know how they'll come back and check and check and
check.
They don't give up as early.
Yeah. And you know, I have several fawns or yearlings, if you will, that probably could come in again or haven't come in yet,
Right.
So, some of that plays in. But anyway, probably 4 or 5 years ago, I killed an 11 point.
Yeah.
And 21st.
21st.
Yeah. So I thought,
See, I'm kind of big on that too. And I went through there and started looking at that stuff. It's like Luke's first buck, which wasn't a giant, but it was his first buck. And then this deer was on November the 19th. And then I looked at the pictures I had, that big 8 I had last year. He was there like 16, 19, 20. And like, I'm going.
Yeah.
Going out. I'm going out there. Exactly. Yeah. Felt like garbage, but I seen a deer, so it's like, and like he probably would have been a shooter had he, not had every horn broke off.
Yeah, yeah.
He basically had 2 main beams coming out. That's pretty much what it was.
Really,
but he was, I don't know, 17 wide,
pretty good wide.
Yeah.
Well, that's it's kind of cool. So Clint, my brother, he killed a nice buck.
Yeah, that was a new food plot.
New food plot, new stand.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I just built that stand in there. So. That's cool.
Yeah.
So him and his daughter both had success in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so
I texted him that day and maybe the day after. Anyway, and he was like, "Man, I appreciate y'all."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I was like, that's what it's about, man. Get them kids out there. You're killing something. It's like that's
heck yeah. That's why we did it.
Sure.
Shoot, yeah. That's why we did it. And so his nice buck too.
Oh yeah.
And he sent me the picture and I'm like, what deer is that? And so I had, I went full research mode and I had that buck on camera on his place one night, 2 or 3 different times a month earlier.
Really?
That was it. That's the only time I'd ever taken a picture of that deer. And that sucker come through his plot and just like come right through the middle, wasn't eating, just heading through.
That's what I asked him. I was like, what was he doing? He's like, he just walked through the plot.
Yep.
So I guess he was doing the same thing he did a month ago.
And like he said he put the scope up and he's like, oh, I can't pass that one.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I don't think many dudes are going to pass that one.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that was cool. And then today, keep the ball rolling here on deer dive.
Oh yeah.
Jody killed the target buck he was after.
Yeah, that's a good deer. Yeah. Really good deer.
Well, we put the tape on it, just rough, 151.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Real nice deer.
I was thinking maybe a few points higher than that, but when I saw the picture,
yeah.
Like, oh boy.
Well, he reminded me of your big deer. He had that. He had a whole nother spike coming out that was like 6 inches long, dude. That's below the brow tine.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah. No,
just a flyer or whatever you call it. But good mass, long 2s and 3s, like 10 inch, 10 inch.
Yeah.
But deer was really old. He had a tank for a body.
No, I almost like a Missouri deer when he was sitting behind. I was like, geez.
Yeah, no, he was a big boy. As a matter of fact, he's pretty good at aging the teeth.
Yeah.
And so he was going to do that.
Oh, really?
Let me know. Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
I would assume, dude, he looked like he was 6 or more.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a big old dude. And so
probably killed him at the right time because they'll probably start going down a little bit.
His story's really cool, but that buck was totally locked down.
Really?
He killed that thing from the ground.
Yeah.
At 30 yards.
Wow.
They both stood up, doe and buck looking at him.
Really? That's kind of cool information. I know.
He was locked.
I thought that was kind of like over.
He was locked down with a doe on the 22nd of November.
Interesting. Because see, I'm playing at any day now they've got to go back to food to bed pattern before the second rut starts. So
I think it is. I think it is the main rut's over, and you're still going to have a few stragglers.
Sure.
So your big mature bucks are like frantically looking here for the last.
That's kind of why I just keep going and keep going. Mm-hmm. Like eventually something's going to be running through here, but my does are all back now. So, but they're all on that lower side mostly. So I've been kind of like hitting that. Yeah.
Well, again,
interesting.
Your place is that food source late place.
Yeah,
that's what it's been.
Yeah.
And I don't think it'll be any different this year. I mean, the food's too good.
It's not looking like anything's going to pop out there, but
you don't never know, man.
And that's why I just, these front mornings.
So that's what so last night and Jode was hunting yesterday and I was like, dude, you got to go get him tomorrow. He's like, man, the wind's not going to be right. I was like, You got to push in there and get him.
Yeah.
I said, I mean, it's now or never, because
Yeah.
this particular place is, he don't have a whole lot of room.
No,
you know what I mean?
move around, yeah.
No. And so I texted him this morning. I said, "Are you in?" He said, "Yep, I'm in, dude. I'm in." And got it done. So I was like, and first thing I texted him, "I told you so."
Told you so. You need to listen to me.
I take what was it?
Well, it's always
Credit.
it's
I'll take the
always awesome whenever the people in our circle
I know.
are killing deer.
I know.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Especially when we personally did some work for some of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now we just
I love
gotta get your dad to knock one down.
Yeah, that's Dad's had a few encounters with small bucks so far.
That's another new, not really new. You had a food plot up there before, but we've redone it,
Bigger.
enlarged it, and
Yeah.
And then the guys we went up and did, super good guys. The last food plot we put in,
Yeah.
for those guys over in Oklahoma, he sent me a picture, not of a kill, but he's like, "Man, the food plot really, really struggled, but it's like on fire now. And it's probably 4 inches tall. This was hand seeded, not drilled, and there was probably 15 does on this picture he took with his phone. He's like, "I'm just waiting on the big one to come through," and they set up the stand where we told them to.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, so I was like, hopefully they have.
I was wondering about that.
Have luck there too. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, we all struggled with the drought and the heat, and it was just not good. But this late emergence of the green is going to be special, man.
Yeah, well, I was telling the wife, not that she cares, but I still talk to her.
There's somebody you got to talk to. You got to talk to somebody.
And it's like, I don't mind these this rain and these 70 degrees because
it's getting greener.
Well, it's getting greener, it's growing taller, so the more days we have, the more mass we put on, the better I'm going to be
late
when it happens for me, which is going to be, December 20th or January 15th or whatever.
I don't know. I thought about you. Did you see the weather for next week? Dude, we got some 20s.
No, yeah. Oh, I'm going to be rolling.
It could be
sure.
flipping a switch for you, buddy. I mean, that's your place has proven that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you'll be like, it's so funny because, dude, I'm still hunting. It's like, what? Oh, yeah, I'm chasing a buck. And it's like, dude, it's January.
Happy New Year.
It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like, no, man, I got a good one coming. So no, there's still high hopes for you.
Well, I got to figure that out too. Now I've got that lease and I don't spend enough time out there. So, and I said it this year and I didn't really do it. But I think I need to start hunting out there because there's some wops out there, entry and exit's terrible, but you never know when you're going to run into one.
Yeah.
And just stay off my place until I start.
Till it's like something triggers.
This year I had some bucks early that I probably would have killed with my bow, but it's like, then it just shut off.
Went dry.
I got he's a 3-pointer and his right side's probably 11-inch spike and got two little fork on the other side, and he's running the show.
Up and coming.
He's hitting every scrape. I mean, he's on every camera pretty much. I'm like, geez.
Well, we'll probably push a little bit on the 10. I'm kind of to the point now
where especially next week,
it wouldn't hurt my feelings if he made it. And just to see what he turned into next year.
That's why I asked the questions. Like, well, what are you going to do? Yeah.
I take the girls whenever they want to go, but I'm not pushing them to go. So it's up to them.
Yeah.
And I would be great if one of them killed that 10. I mean, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, no, that's a good deer.
Really good. Yeah, he is. And, but what is he going to be next year to live?
Exactly.
So, and I have no tags left. I'm bucked out. So yeah, I'm tapped out. So where are we going? Oklahoma, Texas?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Mississippi?
Texas. I watched a bunch of videos the other day in Texas. I'm like, man, I had a customer come in the shop the other day, and he's moving there, and he's a deer hunter, and he's talking about something about 100 acres he's going to get up there or something like that. I'm like, dude, I always see those dudes like sitting on the ground with their bow rattling in giant deer. It's like, let me get your number.
Yeah. Exactly.
I want to do that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I think they originated rattling, dude.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think the ratios are just so, on point over there, I guess. I don't know what the word is, but all those.
Lots of deer, dude.
Tons of videos with dudes on the ground smoking them.
They get the biggest deer population of any state, I think.
Yeah.
Huge amount.
It's kind of like crow calling. You turn on a crow call here and you have a crow in 5 minutes. They rattle over there and a buck's coming to you.
Yeah. So that may be something we have to keep in mind down the road.
That'd be cool. Yeah. I don't know what that's about. I think it's an over the counter tag there.
I have no idea.
Me neither.
I've never even looked into it.
That'd be cool. We might have, instead of going north, I mean, heck, there's some whoppers up there, but if you can kill one from the ground with a bow, I don't care if it's 120-inch deer.
It'd be
Texas,
fun.
It'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, it'd be fun. So, oh yeah, and I forgot too. Larry killed a really nice buck.
Yeah, that's
with his bow. Yeah. He was really so. Yeah, there's been some deer hitting the ground.
Yeah.
Pumped about it. I mean,
That's
it was
some
a
of the
little bit late.
some of the OG camo family outdoors.
Yeah. Matter of fact, me and him are climbing a tree together tomorrow.
Nice.
Yep. And
Is that Chaffee?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm strictly cameraman.
Nice.
Because
Yeah.
I could take a doe, I guess.
You're done, son.
Yes, I'm done. So that's going to be cool because I won't even have to pack a gun or nothing, and I'll just be straight up
Strictly
filming.
be camera. Yeah. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, but like his Overwatch.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, you get to learn some of his secret spots out there.
Yeah. Well, I'm sworn to secrecy.
Yeah.
They blindfold me and muzzle me.
Oh, yeah. They drive you in your back seat with a hood over you. And it's like, all right, we're here.
Yeah. Don't
Get
say,
your camera.
Don't say where you are. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. Actually, we'll do the craziness and go get in line, and so it'll be.
I hadn't done that in years.
3 in the morning.
I do not miss it.
No, it'll be like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And my brother had hit me up about the Arkansas game. He's got some tickets to the Arkansas game, and
yeah,
I said, dude, I don't know if I could just do them both. I don't know.
Ooh, that'd be tough. You'd probably be falling asleep.
Mm-hmm. But no, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean,
that'd be a rough day.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. I don't know. He offered it, but I may have to pass.
Yeah,
I'll probably be seeing my eyelids.
I guarantee you. You know how that goes because you're
Yeah.
you're up by 2 normally.
Yes.
Hit that
Mhm.
deal.
We'll go get in line.
Yeah, it'd be at the gate of the.
And I've been doing that for 10, 15 years now.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It was fun,
It's
but-
just something we do,
It started like making me nervous, dude, when I go out there.
Oh,
It's
it's
like
sketch.
people like trying to do a pit maneuver on me when I'm going, because I'd be doing all this planning and preseason scouting. I know where I'm going, trying to get there, and you're racing down the gravel roads. It's like dudes behind you flashing his lights. Like, what are we doing, man? Like, and then, I've walked out before empty handed, and like in my shooting lane, there'll be like 11 blinds on the ground. Like, gee, I could have killed somebody if
Yeah.
there would have been a deer when I'd have, had a flyer or something. Like, it's sketch, man.
Yeah. Well, to me, that's the OG light flash off.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how many times I got shined.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Don't come this way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's the chaoticness of that, and just me and Larry started hunting together, and I started filming, and
Yeah.
we actually pulled off one of his nice deer that we filmed the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like I've been trying to do it again. It's tough. It's not easy.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah. No, I'm terrible. And I can film other people pretty decently, but
Yeah.
film myself, I don't think I've done it yet.
yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Not easy. And so, that was my buck too. I didn't even have film equipment.
Oh, that's
And
right.
that's
yeah.
rare for me.
Yeah.
I always try to take a film, but it'd have been low light anyway.
Yeah.
It's first light.
Pretty grainy. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I would like to say, don't give up when you shoot a deer and it don't look favorable, because
Yeah.
this deer ended up going about 100 yards
Yeah.
after
Right.
no blood,
Yeah.
or little to no blood,
Yeah.
a little bit of what I thought was lung matter,
Yeah.
and no blood at impact. And so,
Well, it's kind of like I told you, I know a couple dudes that have some really good dogs.
mhm,
Jody's got a dog.
Mhm.
In today's time, there's a bunch of Facebook groups.
mhm.
Hey, I need a dog in, zone 7 or whatever. And it's
Yep.
like somebody will usually hit you up, and, there's drone technology out there. Like, you got to
Mhm.
do your due
Yeah.
diligence on these bucks now. There's no sense not to,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
we normally find them, but,
Yeah.
there's so many options out there now. Like,
Mhm.
and I got to see a dog work. Oh, I guess it was probably 3 years ago now, up on the mountain, like way up on the mountain.
Yeah. I remember. Mhm.
And it was a cool deal, man, to see a dog and it was kind of like almost like a bloodhound breed or something. But the guy said, I literally found this dog on the side of the road and brought him up
Really?
like a pup. And it was like, he's found 300 and something deer or something.
He's
But
automatic.
He had that bloodhound bark. And every time he'd get a whiff of he basically said he was smelling the gland in their feet. He wasn't even going off blood. He was going off the foot gland. And boy, he'd boo real loud. I was like, oh, he's back on him. And he found that dog, and he found that deer in 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Done deal.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, that's my advice, was don't give up even when it looks grim.
Yeah.
I've had both sides of it this year. The first one we blood trailed and he was fine.
Yeah.
And then this
Came
one,
back, yeah.
this one it had less blood and was dead. So,
Yeah.
it's just something. I need to figure out why they don't bleed with the muzzleloader. I don't know what's going on there.
A lot of that's that double lung. I mean,
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
if
you know,
like,
dude, with the 270, it's not that way.
yeah.
I don't know if it blows up when it goes in and the muzzleloader doesn't.
Yeah, you're probably talking about like a boat tail deal where it mushrooms out, just goes in there and wreaks all kinds of havoc.
Tears it all up.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know. That's 2 years in a row where no blood.
Yeah.
And, you know, my buddy was like, why did you shoot him with the muzzleloader? It's like, dude, that's the first thing I grabbed.
I was telling Joe about it, and he's like, he did what? I'm like, yep, that's how it went down.
Yeah, that's how it went down. And if I'd have grabbed the bow, it went down with that bow.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking too. It's like, man, the thing about, because I was like, how cool would it have been if he's like, I'm just going to take my bow, but could you have seen him through the sight?
Oh, yeah. Well, at that time, probably.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Because I ran into that before too, where it's like, dang, I cannot.
Yeah.
I can't find him. And I mean, you can see the deer, but you can't see the deer and the pin.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's legal light. I just can't get it done.
Right. So I don't know. Yeah, it was a kind of a weird deal, but it worked. Hey, we'll take it.
Yep. Congratulations, man. That was an awesome deer. So loved hearing it. And you know, it's always the same for us. We kind of live through each other when it comes to that. So you're nervous. I was nervous. I'm thinking, I was at the chiropractor and I was driving back to the shop. I'm like, dude, that's got to be a lung shot. And it's like, man, there's a pond back there. What about that? You know, I'm going through all these scenarios I'd be going through if I killed the deer. And it's like, so it's cool. And it's also cool to see, you know, the little circle of people we run with. Everybody's kind of starting to get it done.
Like,
that's awesome, man.
Yeah. Me and brothers tagged out, which is cool.
Yeah.
Dude, I haven't tagged out in years.
Yeah.
I don't know when the last time I buck tagged out was.
I never have.
Maybe. And so, you know, I took that deer down deer camp and it's something I normally don't do. So it's been kind of cool year. It's different. Sure. It's different. I mean, that's what we keep saying. It's weird, different year.
Well, it's like, you know, November 19th and it's, you know, 81 degrees.
Oh, no, so weird.
South wind. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah, what's going on here? What's happening around here?
I started to get a little bit aggravated at times, but, you know, it's a waiting game for me. I'm going to keep grinding out and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, you've had good things happen.
Yeah.
At late. And I don't think that'll change. Like you said, I think, you know, for me, I would probably just stay the heck out of there and wait till the cameras tell you something good and make it happen, man. Yeah. Even if it's with a bow, who cares? As long as you get it done.
Yeah, I think that's kind of my plan to stay out a little bit. And then next week when that cold comes, I'll probably be sitting on my But yeah.
In the evenings, dude, should be getting good.
The only thing that makes me nervous about that is like that deer I told you that I saw that was probably a pretty decent buck that was all busted up. I didn't have him on camera until like 2 days after that. Like he walked all around that whole property and I never got a picture of him. So I'm like, man, I should probably get out there because I don't know.
Cameras lie to you.
Because they're not coming to corn piles.
Oh, no.
And, you know, and I moved my cameras off scrapes on the corn because the scrapes closed up. So it's like, what am I missing? I need to get out there. And I've gone before at like 4:15, like, because I'm not going.
Yep.
Man, I better go. You know, I just can't take it. So I don't know. I'm going to keep doing something. But we'll see.
keep on keeping on, man. Yeah. And again, you know, you've played it out on your place. I just played it out on both of the deer that I shot here. You know, one of them I didn't get. Cold fronts, brother.
Yeah.
Especially if you know the deer are close. Yeah, and we did.
Yeah.
You know, we both have Northwest setups.
Yep.
And almost bulletproof access in those setups, and we wait for that cold. And guys get jumpy and want to get in there and push it, and the wind's iffy, and a lot of times it messes it up more than it helps.
Yeah.
But man, it's like I seen this cold front coming. I'm telling everybody, all right, we're going. Yeah. It's go. Yeah. And it worked. And don't always work.
Especially when you have intel that like, dude, they're 3 minutes before or 3 minutes after. And like, you know, it's like, you know, I had that giant last year that I was chasing that he was doing that to me. Like I would get out of the tree, get back to the house and he would be on camera. I'm like, we almost met.
Yeah. Where were you?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, dude, if you'd had a 20-degree cold front come in there, you'd have smoked it.
Yeah, no question.
I mean, that's just how confident I am. Yeah. And the next pod I want to talk about moon phase.
Yeah.
And the reason I want to talk about moon phase is because I just did a whole bunch of research.
Me too.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, did you do the Mississippi University study?
No,
I just went through that entire study.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're probably more knowledgeable than I
am.
Well, I've never been a big moon guy, but then I was starting hearing old Grant Woods talk about it, so I started kind of doing the whole when should I win this? What's happened? So okay, cool.
Well, see, Joe's he's always watching the moon. So I've never kind of been that way.
See,
But
I'm more of a pressure guy. I like the high,
Yeah.
30, I like the high pressure, clear.
Mhm.
I like hunting like when it's looks like it's going to snow outside. It just makes it feel real deery, but really you want those higher pressure days. So I've been more
bluebirds, guys.
temperature and barometers where
Yeah.
I normally lay my
Yeah. I'm a cold front guy, dude.
Yeah.
That's just, and you know, we talked about it in
which
the early season.
follows those high pressures.
Everything's
Yeah.
coming with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So yeah, there's a topic for the next
Yeah,
one probably because I did a deep dive into that.
Yeah.
And I was shocked in some of the stuff that was found. So
Yeah.
that's coming up next.
Yeah, let's do it. That sounds
Yeah.
good because I haven't done all that research, but I've definitely done. I was laid up for a little bit, so
You got some time.
I was down some wormholes all over the place.
Well, you know me, I travel. So
Oh yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So, all right, guys. Yep. Some success. Keep after them.
Yep.
Arkansas got a couple more weeks of gun going, right?
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah. It lasts till December, right?
December 1st, I think.
Wow.
I read that the other day. Say, how long can I gun hunt for? I was sitting on my own saying, I don't even know where we're.
So you gun hunters, there's still hope.
Yeah, there's still hope.
Yep.
Keep grinding.
Get after them, guys. Thank you guys for listening.
Yep. Bye, everybody.
See you.